So, anyways, what's up, guys? This is Ninja. I'm a Ninja, and well, I was watching some videos today of my history, and I fucking miss my bike so much. Like, it's so hard. Like, it's so fucking sad, dude. Like, it brought me back. It made me so sad. Like, just looking at me riding around on the traffic and avoiding cars and quickly passing them up. And then the mistake was because there was this girl I thought was going straight, and she turned, and she was basically in my lane, and I should have sued her, and I wish I had the strength and the money and the well-being to do so, but I couldn't do it. But anyways, so send me your money, bitches. Anyways, with that said, I was watching this. Okay, I was doing something in the background and listening to this random crap, and I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talking, and I hate him. I think he's a stupid idiot. So I need to basically call everything he does forever. So okay, listen to this.
All fossil fuels is energy from sunlight. It's just not renewable.
Okay, it's not renewable. I have never thought of it that way before. And the reason why is because it is actually renewable. It's just the process in which to make it is fucking slow and takes forever. But it is renewable. That's how it got there in the first place. Like, a plant has to die, and like everything that we take in, everything that comes out of us, that's why like our shit goes into these plants. It's because they're draining chemicals and whatever from our turds basically to make certain things, and then they go and sell it after it's refined and whatnot and fertilized and blah blah. But that's how they're finding out shit like, oh, it turns out you can actually get headache medication from gasoline. It's because they literally are testing on shit like that. But anyway, she says it's not renewable, and it is renewable. It's just really slow. Again, like that was basically all. That was it. That was all I seen. Okay, that was all I know, and we're gonna continue watching and see what he says.
Because it's a one-time use.
It's not a one-time use. It goes in the air and turns into the crap, and that crap eventually goes down, gets eaten by the plants. Those plants eventually die, and eventually piles up over the years and years and years and years. It becomes oil again. So it eventually comes back. And it's not one-time use unless it goes out of the atmosphere and goes into space. Then whatever. But that's a whole different ball game. Um, but I found out basically gravity is the reason why we have what we have, and that's why it's so hard for spaceships, for example, to exit the atmosphere. Is because they have to put all that propulsion in it and stuff in the atmosphere, like oxygen and whatever doesn't have that, so it stays. But yeah, so again, all of that shit goes in the air. Eventually, the plants take and the trees take it out of the air, and that's what we know as carbon dioxide and carbons and carbon monoxide and blah blah blah. And the plants and charcoal, and chars, burning and whatever, and eventually it becomes oil is the point, and or yeah, oil, and that's why it's refined oil into gasoline. But yeah, he's wrong. So continue.
What generally do fish eat?
Well, do they eat stuff in the ocean, algae and stuff?
Eat other fish.
Right. But what do those other fish eat? Algae and other stuff. So you're stupid.
Yeah, but then who?
Well, I'm getting there.
Exactly.
Good one. Good one.
Wait a second.
This is where I'm headed. Okay.
This is turtles all the way down.
That's all the way down. But it can't go all the way down.
You can't.
There's no such thing as a stable cannibal society.
A stable cannibal? What the fuck are you talking about?
You need a source from the outside. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
the big fish eats the littler fish, eats the littler fish, eats the littler fish. This goes all the way down
That's cannibalism.
until you get the plankton. There are two categories of plankton.
And plant matter and blah blah blah. And those are fish, but there's also what's it called? Sea anemones and the green stuff on the ocean floor. Like you have to understand, and that's where most of our oxygen comes from, is that kind of shit in the oceans. That's why our oceans provide oxygen, and why the fish don't die is because all that shit goes into the water, gets eaten by the plant. So the plant's on the bottom, the nature's greatest reverberator, basically, and it turns it into oxygen, and it floats into the water and comes out of the water, basically. So
One of them eats other life forms in the ocean.
they all do.
The other gets its energy from the sun.
Yeah, plants.
And they all live right at the surface where they can get sunlight.
And in the bottom where they can't get sunlight, or it's hard to get sunlight, or the water magnifies it, and they get it through that, and that's why they kind of stay in certain areas, and why the oceans and the reefs and whatnot exist. You fucking idiot.
The sun is the ultimate source of all energy in the typical fishes that we think of in the ocean. However,
No, it's the ultimate energy in literally the world. Hence why solar power is such a powerful thing.
what's below the ocean? Well, you get through the crust, and below the crust is the mantle, and in the mantle is magma. And that heat wants to get out. And it gets out through volcanoes, through crevasses in the bottom of the ocean.
And they spew all kinds of shit that eventually gets filtered into the system and turned into gasoline.
The mid-ocean ridge. We have discovered life forms that thrive on geochemical energy enabled by these hot vents at the bottom of the ocean. If someone pluck the sun out of the solar system and we fly off at a tangent into interstellar space,
We'd be fucked.
we will all die rapidly. But the life form,
I wouldn't say rapidly. We would freeze, and a lot of us are used to cold temperatures, so some of us would survive. People in the ocean that are miners and whatnot might survive for a bit. But yeah,
forms at the bottom of the
I don't
ocean
know about dying so rapidly.
that are warmed from the magma oozing up
Like people on the warmer hemisphere that are running around butt naked, yeah, they're gonna die.
through the vents, they'll be just fine.
So yeah, that's why you should not watch Star Talk, and instead you should follow and subscribe to me, because Neil deGrasse Tyson is an idiot and doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and he needs to stay in the astronomy in his field basically and keep looking up, you fat bastard. Keep looking at stars and shit. That's all you're good at. You ain't good at what I am, which is everything basically. I may not be a master of one thing, but I'm better than everybody at everything else. And I mean it, everything else. You might beat me at one thing, but I beat you at everything else. And okay, you beat me at two things. Congratulations, I beat you at everything else. That's my point. As far as like swimming, jumping, whatever, I'm gonna kick your ass. Knowledge, I'll beat your ass. Especially, I'll fucking own you, dude. Anyways, that's kind of the point. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, again, he brings up these points, these arguments, these sayings, these statements, but he is an astrophysicist, and he needs to stay in astronomy and astrology and whatever, because that's kind of what he does. And he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And that kind of talking despite not knowing, essentially, like eventually that filter is gonna hit the world, essentially, and a lot of fake it to make it dudes are gonna fucking get filtered out, and I'm gonna still be there because I was real the whole fucking time, basically, right? And there's corruption that I have to deal with. They're trying to take me out. There's mistakes that happen that I have to go through. So it's not super easy to just win for me, but you can help. Again, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, whatever. You can donate to me. You can just, pass the knowledge of me on to your friends. essentially, because grassroots is what is gonna make me eventually get to people like AOC, Bernie Sanders, um, Obama, all that shit, and eventually they're gonna want to be like, oh shit, he's smart, he knows what the fuck's going on. We should get him into our fucking chambers, and he should be the master of the universe. And yeah, so, anyways, that's it. Be well, be happy, be safe. God bless, Godspeed, God bless you, and Gesundheit. Anyways, take it easy. I'm out. Peace.